Ian, erase this shit out. We're recording it, but just erase this shit out.
Oh, we've been recording as this is going?
For like 30 seconds.
You're listening to the Draft in Hand podcast with your hosts, Greg, Ian, and Mark.
Mark, how was your long weekend at the trailer?
The world needed a long weekend. It was amazing.
The world needed a long weekend.
Yeah.
Ain't that the truth?
Oh my goodness. Just knowing we had Thursday off because it's Canada Day here in Canada.
Yep, in Canada.
I told basically my foreman I'm not coming in Friday.
Good for you.
I'm going to the trailer, and then the weekend happened.
I'm getting out of here. I'm leaving. Yeah, good for you.
And it was beautiful. And it was supposed to rain all day Friday.
Apparently it's supposed to rain all day Friday.
Didn't get a single drop.
I don't think we did either. No, it looked, because you guys are just a bit south of us. We're up in Haliburton, and you're in Peterborough, which is about an hour and a half south.
It went right between us.
Yeah.
Like south and in between. And we were just like, oh, cool.
Split us right in half.
I'm glad it happened to you as well. That's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I don't think it rained. There was a couple days it looked like, could get showers. It kind of sucks because it's like you're down at the dock, and then you got to cover up the boat because it's like it could literally pour rain.
Actually, it rained a bit the other day, but I think it was Played a round of golf up there.
Nice. Do okay?
I shot a 99. I haven't shot that high in a long time.
Well, you're having a good time then.
Oh, I was like 4 beers deep before friggin' I even got to the course.
That'd be perfect.
Jordan almost got a hole in one.
Did he really?
Yeah, inches, man. It like legit inches, dude.
Shit.
Like he missed it. He was like, you saw his divot. It was like 3 feet left of the pin.
Yeah.
And the way it was a kind of like where he hit, he was a bit up on the uphill and his ball rolled back.
Oh,
and
wow.
where it finished like behind the hole, he was like a couple feet away from the hole, but like you could tell to how his ball got
sort of rolled around it.
Where he hit to, basically.
Wow.
It just rolled right by.
Those.
Oh my! As soon as he hit it too, I was like, dude, this is hungry.
Heat-seeking missile straight to the pin.
I was already like ready to run for him.
Oh my god, that would have been something.
Yeah, but
there's people that play their entire life and don't get one of those.
Anything close.
Anything close, yeah.
Yeah, I've been a couple feet once, but that's the closest ever like I've witnessed. Like I know the shot I hit that I was like 2 feet out. I was like, I know this isn't going in. But
right.
Jordan's, as soon as I was like, yo,
this might,
and it was from 190 out. 190 par 3.
Yeah, that's a pretty good distance. I mean, any further than that, it gets a little dicey, I guess, right?
You almost have to use your friggin' driver.
Yeah.
I almost have to use my driver at that distance.
Yeah, like what club was he using at 190?
5 iron or 6 iron?
5 or 6?
Yeah, he can hit the ball a mile though.
Yeah, I'd be using my
the thing
hybrid.
Your hybrid. You use that on every hole.
Yeah,
though.
Ian called that a drive iron.
I use my 3-wood a lot more now because
easier swing.
It's easier. Yeah,
Easier swing.
Like a little bit more forgiveness.
Yep.
Get it up. You can keep it low.
What was the temperature like? It was cold up this week. Up in Haliburton.
It was pretty hot up there, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Like sticky hot?
The evenings were cool, but like the daytime, the temperature was up there.
A couple times I was down at the dock in either a long sleeve, and then one day I was legit on my dock in a sweater. Like I was warm. Like I wasn't like, I'm going to go on a little bit of the warm side because it is summer, but I think the breeze was coming directly at us too from across it's not a big lake. Redstone's not a big lake, but when the wind is coming at you across the lake, it's still chilly.
I golfed in shorts yesterday. Then Friday.
How short were your shorts?
Oh, they went below my knees.
Okay.
The other shorts I was wearing earlier were above my knees.
Ooh.
Yeah. Showing a little skin.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Pasty white skin.
Nice. That's what they want to see.
Very pasty.
They want to see that.
I only have tans because I work outside. And then if you look at my arms, as he lifts up his sleeve, it's like a ghost.
Don't look directly at it.
Yeah, exactly. Don't look directly at my arms.
Fuck. That's, yeah. That's the golf tan line, the construction tan line, and the baseball tan line. They're all similar.
Oh yeah, the glove.
Do you actually? Is one hand lighter than the other? Yeah, looks like it. That's funny. That's funny. I've never had like a really noticeable one, even after baseball tournaments.
I wear gloves all the time at work too, so I don't even know how my hands are tanned.
Did you did you ever get batting gloves? Because you swing a sledgehammer, and we were talking about getting batting gloves.
No, one of the guys from work gave me these pair of gloves, and they're really nice right now, and I haven't had a complaint about them yet.
Well, you would, yeah.
Just my hands hurting just from fucking swinging a sledgehammer all day. But
of course.
I haven't, like, my hands don't feel bad. Guess what? So the ice in our fridge was like too cold almost, and it was like, when you get the ice from the thing, you drop it on, it breaks apart. It's
the
easy
ice
to
bag,
pour
the bag of ice from the beer store.
Yeah, but it was like almost too frozen, and like I was trying to slam it over my head and everything.
So it was
and it wasn't breaking apart. So like stupid me decides to just grab the ice with my bare hand and just start smashing it, and I got a friggin' cut on my hand now.
So you cut yourself from the ice.
Yeah, because I wasn't wearing gloves.
So the bag of ice was basically just too hard and too frozen.
Yeah. So I just started holding it with my bare hand and just breaking the
just
small
smashing
pieces.
it on shit.
Yeah, I just decayed it.
I guess, yeah. If you're not up,
just started smacking it like Donkey Kong, basically.
Yeah, we never buy ice because at the cottage, like we have a freezer and everything. We have a fridge. But I guess if you have a trailer,
this was going golfing. No, this was to go golfing.
Golf.
Yeah, to fill the cooler up.
Yeah, gotta keep shit cold.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's key. That's clutch.
Yeah, up there too. The Poppers. We found the Poppers beer from Letterkenny.
I heard they started that.
Yeah.
Where did they?
I saw it at Fowlers Corner up in just south of Peterborough, just near Peterborough.
I think we go through Fowlers Corner.
It's got the Coffee Time and the Ultramar on the one side. And the Ultramars now is just a massive LCBO. Like, they have no inventory in there. They got rid of, like, the chip. Like, the only thing in there is alcohol. It's better than going to the LCBO.
Fowlers Corner.
And they were open on Canada Day, so it was pretty clutch.
Shout out Fowlers Corner, Ontario. We have a listener from there. Probably we don't. Probably. We might.
Maybe.
We might. Maybe. Everybody, this is the Draft in Hand podcast for America Day, July 4th.
Is it really July 4th?
July 4th. Sunday, July 4th.
Were talking how selfishly we were talking about Canada Day, too.
Well, we're from Canada.
Yeah, but it's
Happy 4th of July to all our American listeners out there. My name's Greg. Over there's Mark.
Yo.
And Ian is not here today. He's day-to-day. Let's say he's day-to-day with non-COVID related issue. He stepped on Lego. That's literally what happened.
I said his toe.
I said
Didn't
I wouldn't
actually break
say
his toe, but
he broke his ego. He stepped on Lego.
We hope
he's okay.
Going back to the trailer.
Yeah.
I friggin' slipped down because I got a little step up to my deck.
Got a couple steps.
I fucking ate shit so hard down my stairs because it was just after it rained a little bit and it was a little slicky. And I stepped on the edge and I went...
Dude, there's nothing more dangerous than like wet wood.
Yeah. Oh, legit. Slid right down. Everybody was watching too. I just started laughing. So the best thing is I fell, which is hilarious to everybody watching. Yeah. But for me,
I appreciate that.
I didn't hit any stair when I fell. I just hit the ground at below. So like
that's like a cartoon fall.
Oh yeah, but I didn't hit like the stair and like go down and like hit my back.
No, you just landed directly on the ground.
Just directly on the ground. I was like, oh, I'm okay.
You needed a little forward. You were going pretty quick then.
Oh yeah.
You had a little forward velocity.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I went down. Everybody. I'm like, everybody's laughing. Oh, it was fucking hilarious.
Amazing.
It was. Yeah, it was straight up a cartoon.
Amazing. What did Amy say?
She wasn't there yet.
Oh yeah. The best part.
Because she came up Friday after work with Jordan.
Oh, sick. Okay.
Yeah, we're allowed guests up now.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. We had guests up. So it was my dad's birthday this past week. So on Tuesday. So my aunt
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to my dad. And my uncle's birthday was just a few uncle from my dad's side, my dad's brother. So it was his birthday recently as well. So it was like a joint birthday.
Get together, have a piece of cake. Nice
Literally,
dinner.
yeah, that's it. Fancy lunch. Aunt did some barbecuing.
What'd you guys have?
It was chicken, kebab, sausage.
On the skewer.
But like the fancy kebabs. It was
tzatziki
something.
And everything?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Fancy cake. One of those fancy cakes. I can't remember what it's called. It was like some chocolate. It was delicious. And Cortha Dairy ice cream. Shout out to Cortha Dairy ice cream.
Yeah, big shout out to Cortha Dairy ice cream. Even though I'm lactose intolerant, big shout out to Cortha Dairy ice cream.
Shout out to Cortha Dairy from a lactose intolerant. He's like, this is worth it.
Oh, the frig, man. Their
100%. Chocolate
milk, man.
Yes. Everything.
Yeah, Moose Tracks.
Everything.
Vanilla. I'm a vanilla fan.
I don't mind. Vanilla ice cream's fine. I do appreciate the vanilla-based ice creams, though. So say like a Moose Tracks, it's like vanilla base.
Yeah, with the caramel
a little something.
and stuff like that in it.
Yeah.
I hate having too much chocolate. Like I love chocolate, but I can't eat that much. But I hated having too much like
overload.
Yeah.
Chocolate overload. I understand.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna talk about sports or something?
Sports. Okay, where do you want to start here? I got a bunch of things on my list. Okay, do you want to mention the Euro thing first?
Yeah. So Denmark.
So neither of us really pay attention to soccer.
Yeah.
But
first game of the tournament, Denmark. One of their first game of the tournament, Denmark was playing, and one of their guys, Eriksson, had a cardiac arrest and on the pitch.
Yep.
He was resuscitated on the field and everything.
Yep.
Brought back to life. Came off, and Denmark's now in the semifinals, and they're going to play England. But I think Denmark. One of my buddies was telling me Denmark is the first team to ever get this far after losing the first 2 games of the round robin,
which is
group stage. Sorry,
of the group stage. Yes. Yeah, which is kind of a round robin, but sort of.
I'm just gonna.
But the group stage.
That's what it is then.
The Euros.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a really cool story actually.
Yeah.
I haven't been paying too much attention. I saw the Spain-Switzerland shootout, and
penalty kicks,
and I'm like, yo, this is the reverse of what you normally see happen. You normally see a bunch of goals, and whoever stops one first. They
were trying to miss. It looked like they were trying to lose.
So you were watching it too. I'm like, what is going on?
I had it on my phone with the little bit of data I could get up at the trailer.
It was entertaining because it wasn't what you normally see.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's literally to the extent of the Euros that I've watched.
Yeah,
but I was entertained.
From what I've watched, I've been entertained.
That, you know what? Just, it's nice to see something a little bit back to normal. Kind of sucks there's some travel restrictions. I'm just sick and
tired of hearing all these sad stories, even though like the guy having the cardiac arrest is a very sad story, brought back to life, happy story. But like I'm happy Denmark was just is still able to keep going.
To overcome.
Good for them. Good.
Yes.
Like it's a cool story for sports.
Who's in the semis now? You said it's England,
Italy and Spain, and England and Denmark.
Right. Nice. Well, maybe you'll talk about it next week.
Sunday.
Maybe not.
Sunday is the finals.
Is Sunday the final?
I think Sunday is the finals.
Okay, so next episode, I assume we're doing maybe a Sunday one. Probably that's sort of what we've been doing.
We could be talking about soccer again.
Could be talking about it. I'm sure Ian will love that. Okay, so speaking of... So sticking with the European vibe, let's go F1 right now.
Where were they this week?
It was the second race in a row at the Red Bull Ring. Austrian Grand Prix.
Verstappen won the first week.
And Verstappen won again.
Again?
Yeah. So
My
2 weeks
dad's out there.
2 weeks in a row. Oh, true. Yeah, your dad listens to it. Watches the race.
He's watching on the PVR.
So the reason there's 2 races back-to-back weeks at the same location. The reason for it, from what I gather, is that the Turkish Grand Prix was canceled or postponed this year because Turkey's sort of a red zone in Europe right now.
And they postponed the Canadian one too.
The Turkey one was actually replacing the Canadian.
Oh.
But the Turkey one also got postponed. So then they're just like, let's just double up the Red Bull
and have another race somewhere.
Yeah. So if you see the Styrian Grand Prix, it's the same track as the Austrian Grand Prix. So last week, the Styrian Grand Prix, Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas, pretty standard top 3. This week was interesting though. Today, Verstappen won by a lot, as he does. It's a Red Bull Ring. He's racing for Red Bull, top of the standings. Go nuts! Your boy, Mark's boy, Lando Norris, starting front row. He finished 3rd on the podium. Still pretty good for McLaren. And Bottas, another one of your guys, your Finn, finished 2nd.
What happened to Hamilton?
Hamilton, the 4th this week.
Damn, he's not winning the championship now.
He's still, it's close, but
he's not winning it after those 2 weeks.
The gap is getting wider between
that race a
Verstappen
few weeks
and Hamilton.
ago where he friggin' crashed himself out, or not crashed himself, but drove himself making that right, doing that left.
Yeah,
that's where he fucked him because Verstappen was already out.
Yeah. I think he had a little bit of damage. I think he went over some bumps and got a little bit of damage, and Norris Norris had a penalty too. Norris had a 5-second for kind of pushing somebody off. Maybe. I mean, but
might change your strategy if you're a little closer.
But good for Bottas, because you're a Bottas fan. Finland.
He finally didn't get fucked over by the crew or the track.
or a tire you couldn't get off. Yeah, exactly. So good for him. So he was faster, so Hamilton sort of let him go through. And Hamilton was really holding off Norris for most of the race, but he was just too fast, like just too good. So good for McLaren, good for Norris for finishing on the podium. But a couple.
Where Perez finished?
Off the top of my head, can't remember. I think he was 5th. He also got a couple penalties. Him and Leclerc, Charles Leclerc, he sort of ran him off the track and got a couple 5-second penalties. But also early in the race, he sort of went off the track and went from like 3rd down to 10th.
Oh, so he battled himself back up.
Basically, he battled himself low and then back up. So I don't have it in front of me where Perez finished, but he was just...
That sounds like a stressful race.
5th, 6th, kind of the past 2 races. So he's also like up there, but just off the podium. Cool story, though, from this weekend was George Russell Williams today. He was... Imagine a Williams driver finishing in the points.
Really?
He didn't. One place out. He finished 11th, but he started 8th. He qualified 8th. Williams had a driver that qualified above Ferrari, both Ferraris, and above both Aston Martin, which was former Racing Point.
Good for them.
Where the fuck did that come from? Williams is literally like the Buffalo Sabres of F1. They have a superstar on their team that might leave. That's George Russell, because he's technically signed with Mercedes. More on that in a minute. But so you have this guy who drives for them that's pretty good. But their car and their team, they're like the back markers. It's Haas, they're shit. And then Williams is also pretty bad. Like Latifi always finishes. He's a Canadian that always finishes like in the bottom.
Yeah.
But the 3 teams qualified above Williams, George Russell. It was both Mercedes, both Red Bull, and both of the AlphaTauri, and only one of the McLarens. And then George Russell qualifying, you're not only getting into qualifying 8th, but getting into the 3rd qualifying. It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How the fuck? And then just missed. I think he was passed on one of the last laps. Otherwise, he would have finished in the points. He would have finished top 10. He ended up finishing 11.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Still a good race for them, then.
Hey, man.
Was he driver of the day?
I don't know who's driver of the day. I have no idea. Not a clue. I can't remember. I can't remember who it was. But, so speaking of Mercedes, they just announced in the last day or two that they have signed Hamilton for 2 more years. 2-year extension. So that'll be his 10th and 11th seasons with Mercedes. And that takes until he's like 39 years old, I guess. He's getting up there. Yeah. Yep.
He's been racing for that long?
Yep.
Holy
He's been with Mercedes for almost a decade. Dominating the whole time, pretty much.
Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like looking age over like a day over 30.
No. Still looks young. Still kind of like he's always had that poise about him.
Yeah.
I've never like really paid that close attention, but I know who he is, and he always has that poise, that aura sort of about him that he's...
Damn, so he's not like Kimmy old, but...
No, Kimmy looks old.
Yeah, but I was like, frig, they're like...
He's still the third
old on the
grid.
circuit. They're like, the circuit's young now.
Oh, yeah, you have guys that are like 20, 21, 22, 23, 24 that are doing... I have no idea how old Verstappen is, but he's pretty young. Norris is like 21 or 22 or something like that. Leclerc might be 23 or 24. Getting up there, but good for him.
Oh yeah.
So good for those guys. So that the interesting conversation has always been, where does this Russell guy fit in? Because he drives for Williams, but he's contracted through Mercedes. Mercedes' like 3rd driver. So everyone's like, well, just George Russell.
Yeah, didn't he drive for Mercedes one time?
When Hamilton had COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the race that Sergio Perez last year went from last to 1st.
Yeah.
Because they, again, theme of Mercedes, they fucked over Bottas, and they fucked over George Russell, who was driving in Hamilton's car, because they did the back-to-back pit stops and they mixed up the tires and stuff, which allowed Perez and Sainz and I think it was like Gasly or somebody like that last year. But the question is, it's like, when's Russell going to join Mercedes? Is if Hamilton retires, that opens up a seat, obviously. Now, if they want George Russell, and they got to kick out Bottas. But over the past couple weeks, like, Bottas has 2 podiums now. Like, Bottas is not doing poorly.
He's still a great
He's
racer.
consistent.
He gets fucked over.
I don't know. I can't remember a time. I don't follow it like terribly closely, but it seems like every time he doesn't do well, it's the team fucking up.
Or something stupid happens.
Something really dumb.
He hasn't had like any control of his faults.
No. Yeah, that's shitty.
Yeah.
I heard regarding that tire thing, I heard that they couldn't get that tire off. They literally had to take it back to the shop. Like, they didn't even take the tire off at the track.
It was that seized?
I think so.
Jesus Christ, that's going to be a good episode next year.
On the drive, that'll be fun. That'll be something. Yeah. That'll be something.
You just hear the explicits. Beep, 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 beep.
What a great show. Great show. All right, enough of this F1 stuff. Baseball?
Yeah, sure.
All-Star? Do you want to pop open the All-Star the thing? So
I didn't even.
I know, Mark. This is your first reaction to the All-Star teams, not just the starters, but also the reserves. So from the Jays' perspective, the Jays have 3 starters, which is incredible. The Jays have Vladdy, Marcus Semien. So the right side of the infield is Blue Jays. Perfect, amazing, awesome. Then you got Teoscar Hernandez, who's a starting. I'm assuming right field. He just got in. He edged out the other outfielders, so he's a starter too. So the Jays have 3 starters in the All-Star game, and announced just a few hours ago, Mark's just pulling it up on his phone, just the first reaction to it. Bo Bichette is on the reserve list.
On the reserve list?
Yeah.
They have the whole, like, did they make like a whole thing for it?
Like an announcement?
Yeah, no, I'm reading it. Like, my data's been acting friggin' weird the last couple days on my phone, so it took a while to load.
Yeah, they just announced the reserves, which it's just the non-starters.
Ohtani made it as a starting pitcher.
Good, yeah.
That is sick.
My buddy Taylor says the National League is pitching is stacked, but the American League, like, it's an all-star game. Both teams are going to be stacked.
Yeah, but it's the game means something though, because if you lose, you don't get home field in the World Series.
That's what it is, yeah. And I think of all the major sports, baseball's all-star game, like, that's sort of the most meaningful. Like, that's sort of the thing that's talked about the most. Like, you don't talk about, like, oh, he was an NHL all-star, whatever. Like, that doesn't really go on your Hall of Fame ballot. The same way an MLB All-Star appearance goes on a Hall of Fame ballot, or sort of a thing at the end of your career.
I think the AL are going to kill him.
What do you like about the American League? So sort of go over it. Like, what's going through your mind looking at the list?
I think their pitching has more depth.
The AL is more depth
than the NL. Like, I look at the Grom, and then I see Woodruff. He's having a good season.
This is for the NL.
Yeah.
Yep.
They got Darvish. Darvish is good, but I wouldn't say he's much better than many of the AL pitchers.
Sure.
Corbin Burns is kind of breaking out. Gosman's having an anomaly of a season.
Mm-hmm. Who's he with?
The Giants. Marquez is kind of having like, these guys are all having their like first ever really good season. Zach Wheeler is I don't even know why he's in all. The Phillies just didn't have enough players to probably get an all-star.
they needed a guy.
Yeah, Harper isn't even there.
Really? Is he injured?
Real Moto's playing as the catcher.
Real Muto.
Then there's Kimbrel. He's still good. Hader, Reyes. I just think the AL is just going to hit the shit out of the NL.
You have the starters from the AL in front of you there?
Cole, Lance Lynn, Shane Bieber, Ovaldi from the Red Sox. Only reason he's there because Sale wasn't pitching.
Okay, yeah. Red Sox, I think, have 5 guys.
Kyle Gibson from the Rangers. Kikuchi from the Mariners. He's like breaking out this year. He came from Japan. He's sick.
Love to see it.
And then Ohtani. And then Ohtani's also going to hit. And Rondon, who's almost thrown 2 complete game or perfect games this year. And then they also have like Hendricks and Chapman.
So you like the AL?
I really like the AL. And then I think
in Colorado too. So
yeah. And I think they're just going to hit the shit out of the baseball.
It's always fun to see a high run score. I know you love the low scoring ones, but
Oh, Cedric Mullins is going for the Orioles. He's sick.
Mhm.
Keep your eye on him in the All-Star game if you're gonna watch. Mullins is sick on the Orioles.
I believe the game is next Tuesday, the 13th, I think, July 13th. Sounds about right.
I just want to watch the home run derby.
I'm assuming the Derby's the night before.
Yeah, I know. I just want to see Ohtani just
The MLB All-Star game.
rip baseballs. Kind of upset Vladdy's not going, but that's whatever.
To the Derby.
Yeah.
Yeah. He didn't want to ruin his season, basically, which is respectable. He'll be there. He was in last year. He was in the Derby last year, but without even being an All-Star. I thought that was funny. He said first All-Star appearance for Vladdy Guerrero
And that
Jr.
was like the best highlight of the entire All-Star week or days.
Yeah, MLB All-Star game. Tuesday, July 13th. Yep. So,
It's a couple
next
weeks
week.
from now.
Yeah. What's today? The 4th?
Yeah, today's.
So
yeah,
next week.
You said it already.
Next
it's,
week.
The day in the States.
Next week.
July
America
4th.
Day.
Yeah.
We're doing great so far. Jays. Hey, the Jays beat the. They lost today, but they beat the.
Yeah, they
Tampas.
took 2 or 3 from Tampa. They killed Tampa. They killed Tampa the first game.
Would have been amazing if it was a sweep, but just getting one game on them. They're chasing Tampa, so as of right now, the Jays are 4 games back
3
of the wild card. Is it 3 now?
They're 4. No, yeah, it'd be 4 because Tampa just beat them.
Yeah, so 4 games back of the wild card. They're chasing Tampa. They're also chasing Oakland, but a little easier to catch somebody in your division, obviously.
Play
so
more games against them.
exactly. So, but the Jays are the next team up. There's a bunch of teams. I mean, we're halfway through the schedule. Lots of baseball to go, but they're right there. And the number of games, we mentioned this last time, the number of games that they blew because, I mean, the bullpen
They're not healthy.
The bullpen is a mess. And like Mark said,
I'm not blaming the bullpen. They're just not healthy.
well, like you said prior, that the problem isn't the Jays bullpen. The problem is how healthy the bullpen is not. It's the health of the bullpen. They have great arms. They just are not healthy. They're literally playing AAA guys that are just, they're outmatched.
They're like, we shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
It's like when Picard was playing.
Ah. What can you do?
Yeah. It's
Like-
like, well, I wasn't signed to be here.
Oh, you mean,
Not Picard, the other guy.
yeah.
The guy
Hutchison.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, I was supposed
Literally,
to be the
yeah. No,
Marlies
that's
goalie.
a great comparison. Yeah, you're literally throwing a Michael Hutchison's against these guys, and they're gonna do okay once in a while. But you're playing against major league pitchers, and you're trying to get the hardest 9 outs of the game or the last 9 outs.
Oh, yeah.
And so they've given up like a dozen games now in the last like 3 innings, a dozen ish. Even if, and what we said, even if you win 10 of those, you're in the wild card minimum.
You're fighting for a division.
Minimum.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with their batting order.
Red Sox are 20 games above 500 though already.
Yes, good for that. And they have 5 All-Stars for a reason.
And they don't have Chris Sale.
And they're still, when's he back? Whenever he feels like it.
I don't think Boston cares right now.
LTIR. He's Kucherov. They're just chilling.
Yeah, but there's no salary cap in well, there's a salary cap in baseball, but you're allowed a luxury tax.
Luxury tax. Exactly.
Yeah,
Anything else you want to talk about the Jays, or just, I mean, they're doing good.
they've been entertaining. Guerrero's still
Raking.
absolutely killing it. The starting pitching has been really good. Robbie Ray and Stripling's had a couple good starts recently.
Yeah, he had a really good start against the Tampa Bays just 2 days ago,
Yeah.
and he went deep. Like
Ray went 7 today as well.
in a losing effort, but hey, he gave them everything he could have.
Yeah.
He's been a really positive for the Jays this year. Both of those guys have. On top of Ryu, who's, I mean, hey, last year he was the Cy Young runner-up or third place runner-up. So like if he goes out there and is like any good, just decent, that's amazing.
Yeah.
I think Matz is off the COVID thing now.
He pitched good a couple days ago too.
Yeah. So they just, I don't know.
And then Ryu's Ryu. You just trust that guy to do well every 5th start.
Who's their 5th starter right now? Manoah. Yeah, sorry.
The kid.
He
had a good start too.
Didn't he have the Rays shut out for like 7 innings? He went 7 or 1 run or something.
Something like that. He had a great start too. I wasn't watching. I was up at the trailer, but I would just like go back look at the stats.
Yeah, same. Had it on the radio. Was sort of listening to it, and then you're kind of like, oh shit.
And that was after his
Manoah's doing
suspension
well.
too.
Yeah, what a goon. Absolute goon. The worst.
But it was just like sick. That kid is so fucking good.
Yeah. Good to see. And honestly, you look at it, any good start you get out of Manoah is just to take it as a positive. For every good start, he's going to have a rough one because he's a kid, he's a rookie. You're going to see the talent oozing out of him, but just have patience with him. You see, if he pencil him in as your number 5, and that's
just let him pitch every 5th day.
Yeah, amazing.
Don't put stress on him. You got Ryu. You have a legit ace. You don't need to label this guy as the Jays' future ace. You have Ryu for another bunch of years.
And you have Robbie Ray, who arguably could have been an all-star. He could have been an all-star.
He could have been an all-star.
Should he be? He would have been an all-star if the Jays didn't have another 4 alls.
Didn't he also get hurt for a couple weeks too?
I believe it. Probably. I think so. I remember talking about it. Yeah. Yep. But baseball season's a little too long for me to be that zeroed in on like 2 sports at once. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, they have a lot of positive stuff going on for them. And
well, I think they've won 9 of their last 11.
Have they been that hot?
Oh yeah, the Jays have been the best team in the AL recently. The last 10 games.
Fun fact from Mark.
Very
Jays
fun fact.
Schedule. Okay, let me look this up real quick. Okay, they're playing the Baltimore's next. That's a huge series.
Oh, we're playing the Baltimore's next too.
Okay, Baltimore the next 3, and then the Rays right after that for 3.
That's a big week.
Yeah, that's a big week. So we'll be next podcast. We'll be talking about how the Jays.
Is it 4 against Tampa?
3 and 3.
3 and 3.
Yeah, 3.
Jays got to win 4 or 6 this week,
and then
they have to sweep Tampa.
Yeah,
I don't care if they lose to Baltimore. They have to sweep Tampa.
So yeah, they go 3 against Baltimore, 3 against Tampa, then the All-Star break.
Yeah.
So the Jays have won a bunch of these. I'm just scrolling back, and
although winning 6 in a row would be wicked.
Yeah. They took 3 of 4 against Baltimore. So yeah, they're I didn't count, but I believe you. They're doing really well. Mark, anything else to say about the baseball and the Jays?
Oh, fuck, just start watching them more, man. They're such a fun team to watch. They got everything going from them right now. They look like a really well-oiled machine. And Shapiro said he's down to make a move for a fish.
Didn't they make a splash? Didn't they trade for a fish? Miami Marlin relief pitcher?
Yeah, he's all right though, but
it's just he's
guy. It's an arm.
He's guy.
Dickerson's not no slouch either.
Who did we trade? We traded
Panic.
Yes, our utility infield guy. Former Gold Glover. He was playing really well, but he's again like he's a
You didn't need him.
No. With the lineup we have, with how well everyone's playing,
Springer coming back.
Yeah,
you got an elite bat.
Yeah, he's a guy that you just got squeezed out.
I like getting Dickerson though, because I think he's got a lot of power, and I think he's gonna hit a couple home runs for the Jays that are gonna be pretty clutch, pinch hit situations.
Okay, where does he play?
I don't know where he plays, but I just know he can swing a bat pretty hard.
You need guys like that can sort of come off the bench and just be a threat.
It's like Matt Stairs.
Remember that? That guy. That's a throwback name, Matt Stairs. I bet if you go to a Jays game, you'll
still see a Matt Stairs.
You might see a Matt Stairs.
It's like when we went to the Marlies games, you see all the craziest jerseys at those games.
Yeah, the Jason Blake jerseys with those ugly giant numbers. How bad were those numbers? That font that we used to have.
The 55.
It was just like the giant thick font, but then it had like the outline. It was not. It's
like
nice.
We know what it says. You don't need to like.
In your face. It was obnoxious. Yeah.
It was like a number on a number.
It looked like it was those numbers were like when you should be using like 12-point font, but you actually are using like 36-point font. Not that you should put 12-point font on a jersey, but
how come I use so much paper?
They said the essay needed to be 12 pages. It's increase. Increase font size, man. Some of the I saw a couple papers in university. The font. You don't change the font size, but you change the font type, and the margins are just like half the fucking page. It's like, what the fuck? Like, this doesn't even look like it could be passable.
It looks like a scroll almost.
Yeah, it's like it's like yeah, parchment. It's like 3 words on a line. Okay.
The dog. Period.
I love those memes where it's like, instead of saying like don't, because you need to fit in more words, you say just like I'm not able to can, or instead of saying I cannot, as I am unable to can, just adding in random words as filler. Oh my god, which is what we're doing right now. Okay, yo, hockey stuff. Mark, Stanley Cup, by the time people listen to this episode, so we're recording this on Sunday.
It could be awarded tomorrow.
It could be handed out tomorrow. And if you're listening to this podcast I'm assuming this podcast is going to be posted Monday. If you're listening to this after Monday, the Stanley Cup could be awarded. There could be a champion. It's Tampa Bay Lightning up 3-0 currently.
Good for them.
What do you think? What are your thoughts on this, just the series right now?
Back-to-back champs. I think it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I've only watched the first 2 games. I didn't watch game 3, but
you didn't miss much.
Tampa Bay, like, they just play us. They're just so good. Because you watched the first game. Montreal didn't play bad.
The first game, no. Tampa
was just like, we're going to score now. That's what it kind of felt like. Even the second game, Tampa was just like, we're going to score now. It's like, you remember when Atlanta was up 28 whatever, or 24 whatever on the Patriots in the Super Bowl there? Mm-hmm. But like, when you're watching, you're just like, Tom Brady's still going to win the game.
I understand what you mean.
That's what it's like when you're watching Tampa Bay. Yeah, I was just like, they're just going to score whenever they fucking feel like it.
Game 1, there was a ton of weird bounces.
Yeah.
Not crazy bounces both ways.
Game 2, Tampa was just like, I'm going to score.
Montreal played really well in game 2.
So did Tampa. Actually, I don't even think Tampa played good.
No.
They just were like, we're going to score.
Like, you're right. We need to score now. Montreal, I think, outplayed them for stretches of that game.
Yeah.
But that's why they have Vasilevsky. They have a really good defense. And Montreal's buzzing. Like, they're
like Tom Brady. It's just like, all right, we need a touchdown. Like,
we need to score
you
now.
just know what's going to friggin' happen when you watch Tampa play. It doesn't even matter if they're up or down 3-1. It's just like, we're going to score a goal.
Or we need a goal. Go out and get one. We know who to tap.
Let's go throw our grind line out to draw a penalty to get us on the power play.
And then it's lights out. Then it's basically lights out. It's crazy. The third game, I was a little... You really noticed
how much better Tampa was.
Outclassed Montreal in just about every position. And I know a lot of people were sort of throwing Carey Price sort of under the bus for a couple of those goals, but it's like, he's one guy. Dude, this is the best team.
But that's also how good Tampa Bay is.
Oh, that's how good Tampa Bay is. Best team in front of Carey Price right now, and that he's ever had. And hey, he's made some incredible saves. He's going to keep them in every game. But don't put it on Carey Price when you're losing by multiple goals.
And the thing is, too, Tampa Bay has been doing this to every team they've faced in the playoffs so far.
Yeah.
They're just like, let's just decide to score goals. We're going to score goals this period. No, we're gonna play this game 1-0. They can just beat you however the hell they want. And it must be nice to be that good.
I remember talking at the very start of the year when we were doing our division episodes. We were talking about the divisions. We were almost talking like, I think it was Boston we mentioned. Boston was that team that was so competitive each year because they could either play the run and gun style, they could play a lockdown style, they could sort of Swiss Army knife their way through the game.
They could figure their way out of it, yeah.
Yeah.
After the first period, you're just like, hey, what's Boston going to do in the second? What are they going to do different to beat us?
Now, Boston's not quite the same team they used to be because they don't have Chara. But we're talking about Chara from
this is like
Boston a couple
5 years ago. Boston,
yeah, and Tampa has become that team that can they can lock you down.
Tampa's that staple now.
Their defense are incredible. Savard is on their third pair.
Ryan McDonough doesn't even seem relevant on that team, but he's there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
They could have just had Cernak play for 30 minutes the other night. And Sergachev. Sergachev is sick.
It's almost like the Tampa Bay defense, you could draw names from a hat, and that's how much time you're playing each game.
Dude, you could just men's league that thing and just have the door open on the bench. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what when you're like, you got a game going like that, you're just bench door is opening, the guys are going out.
Next guy.
Yeah.
The only reason, so you picked Montreal in our pool.
I only picked Montreal just because I had to.
You basically, like, if I'm going to win, I have to pick Montreal.
Yeah.
I took Tampa in 6. Amy actually took the same number. I was like, fuck, damn. I picked, whatever. But, so, like, we're tied, and if Tampa wins, we'll just be tied. So,
yeah,
whatever.
Hopefully Montreal comes back. Not really.
Hopefully Montreal comes back and wins a couple games just because
I want to watch 4 more games of hockey.
Sure. Or at least 1 or 2. Like, start with 1, right? Like, whatever. But I took Tampa in 6 because I wasn't sure how healthy Kucherov was after the Islanders series. And I'm like, wouldn't it be out fucking rageous if the Montreal Canadiens again had
the best player of the team get down?
You know what I mean?
Not best player, but like
a very important player, a very important forward. Tavares, Scheifele. Say what you want about Chandler Stevenson, but he's sort of the glue that holds Pacioretty and Stone together. And Stone and those guys were shit against Montreal. Credit Montreal for shutting them down. Credit Montreal for shutting them down, but they were also shit. Both can be true. And without Kucherov, like, they're already without Killorn, and that he's a key piece. He's amazing.
He's a playoff. He's a guy you'd want on your team for the playoffs.
He's playoff superstar guy.
He's their Zach Hyman.
Kinda, except a little bigger.
Better. Yeah.
Better at kind of everything. But
it's the same. You know what I mean.
You get a little.
We're talking about this as a Leaf fan.
His hand is a little heavier though than Hyman's is because he has a ring.
Maybe 2.
Very close. 60 minutes away from a second.
3. Like, fuck.
Let's fuck this shit. Let's look at the Tampa Bay Lightnings on cap for how the fuck are they? I want to see how fucked they are for next year, just to make myself feel a little better. Because if it's I stand by this. 2 in a row, like you said, is cool. I said it a couple episodes ago. I was kind of pulling for Tampa just because it doesn't happen often. I literally want you to go away after this. I don't want 3 in a row. Fuck that shit.
Yeah, you're not the New York Islanders.
Fuck you.
Don't win 4 in a row. Honestly, no. If you're gonna win 2 in a row, win 5 in a row. Like just
let me digest that for a second.
Just be that good for that. Like, just do it.
Dynasty it up.
Just be a dynasty. Just New England Patriots it. They didn't win 5 in a row, but it was just like, why are they always winning?
And then they can fuck off for literally like.
They can fuck off for the next decade.
For however long the Detroit Red Wings are going to be bad for. That's
exactly. That's exactly how I feel.
Okay.
Like, they can win whatever many they want, as long as when they decide to like not win anymore, they're like the Detroit Red Wings right now. They're just.
Here are the guys that they have for next year signed already. Okay. Kucherov, he's signed through forever.
Yeah. So Stamkos.
Steven Stamkos.
Vasilevsky.
Hang on, I'm going through forwards first. Yanni Gourde, key player. Yanni Gourde gets paid a lot, over $5 million.
Yeah,
over $5 million. That's not sustainable.
That's where I think Hyman has a good argument in his.
Okay, we'll get there. I got a bunch of guys. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Also right at $5 million is Tyler Johnson, but he was waived. Remember this year, but he's still signed.
He signed that one a long time ago though too.
Yep. Just under 5, so 4.8.
Gourde signed that one I think 2 years ago.
Maybe. Yeah, he's UFA in 2025, 26. That's Yanni Gourde. So also signed for next year is these 2 guys, Cirelli and Killorn. And they got that Walcott guy signed. So RFAs.
Serge is an RFA. Sergachev.
Sorry, let me scroll down. So defense signed also for next year. You got the top 4 here. You got Hedman, McDonough, Sergachev, and Cernak.
They're all signed?
Next year, yeah.
Oh, sick.
Yep.
Fuck.
Sorry. Cap Friendly's already moved 1 season over. So, fuck me. On forward, they also have Point and Palat signed for next year as well, still, obviously. Same with Patrick Maroon, also signed for next year.
Oh, so
21-22.
Fuck, they're going to win again.
And on defense, they also got Jan Ruda. So literally, they got 5 defensemen returning. They got a bunch of guys. They got Cleason, Savard, Shen. All those guys are RFAs, or UFAs, sorry. So they're going to go.
Plugs.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 forwards signed. Now, they have cap problems, obviously.
Yeah, but you still have your team signed.
You have your whole team signed. And in goal, you've got...
It doesn't matter who you have in goal. You have Vasilevsky.
You have both your goalies signed. You have Vasilevsky signed through forever, and you've got...
Greg, it doesn't matter. It's Vasilevsky.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter who the other goalie is.
McElhinney is a UFA. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. You're right. It doesn't matter.
Your other goalie could be Millhouse, like strapped to the net, breathing the puck, like...
Millhouse, I love it. Hey,
and Tampa Bay would still probably win if Millhouse was in net.
You know who's an RF? You know who's a UFA? Tampa Bay Lightning UFA this year. Marian Gaborik.
I think he's going to sign with the Minnesota Wild.
Is this like the Marian Gaborik? I think it is.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay picked him up from the Kings.
Yeah.
Or no, Ottawa.
You're right, Ottawa. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. He's there. Yep, there he is. Oh my god. Wow. Jesus fucking Christ.
I forget who they got from Ottawa to they took on his contract just to get a player or something.
Mm-hmm. Wow, Tampa. You're doing good. Yeah, you know what? Just be good and then fuck off for literally the rest of...
That's why I'm kind of
rest of these 2 decades.
The trade having Yzerman, because Yzerman built Tampa.
He was the architect. He built that nonsense.
And I'm just like, God damn it, I don't want the trade to be good again. I don't want Ian to be happy again.
Ever!
I do want Ian to be...
I don't.
Yeah, not about a sports team.
No, I feel exact same. Like
He's won too many times before we won once.
Yeah. Too good for too long. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Oh. I agree.
But also, it's like, I don't really hate the trade. I don't really hate Tampa. I legit actually can't hate Tampa as an organization. They went far and beyond for another story for another time.
Very respectable.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Well, not really a question, because I know you're going to say yes.
I was going to say, I usually answer 7 when you ask me questions.
If the question was how many games did the previous round go to, the answer is 7.
Which one?
Islanders Tampa.
Yeah.
That series was better than this one.
Oh, easily. I said that was going to be a 6 series too.
Yep.
That was a wicked series, man.
It's just kind of disappointing that the final,
it was a
the
1-0
semifinals, not as good as the final.
fucking 1-0 game 7-2.
That was a good 1-0 game.
That's
talking
one of those games I talk about with
good
the pitch,
1-0
where
game.
the pitch where you're watching a baseball game too, and you got a 1-0 game.
Yeah, and you know what I also appreciate though, late in series like that. Watch playoff series. You're not going to watch playoff series because they're almost over now. But game 1, they're getting to know each other. Game 2, game 3, game 4 are really chippy. Game 5 is also really because everyone's just pissed off at each other. But as soon as you start
game 6, somebody needs to win.
As soon as there's that win condition, like game 6 and 7, all the bullshit pretty much goes away because they're like,
because they're not focused on that shit. You can't fuck up. You can't go on the power. You can't go on the penalty kill. Yeah. Well, the Islanders can't go on the penalty kill because it was Tampa Bay.
Yeah, you cannot afford to give up those power plays. So all
those
the
minutes
goes
are
away.
too valuable.
Yeah, which is exactly what you saw in the Islanders series. All that bullshit sort of just disappeared.
But those teams weren't really playing to bullshit. Like Barzal got up with the cross check and got fined. But there's been dirtier series. That was just that was a good hockey series.
I also think that theory sort of holds true. Like first round, the guys are so gung ho that you got to
get through it.
You're going to get the dirtiest hockey usually in the first, just because there's more people, there's more teams in there.
There's also usually there's a greater range of playing a good team versus a worse team.
So you got it. Those teams,
worse teams have to kind of
do whatever they can,
scrap it. You know when you've been on a worse team playing on a better team, you can't win clean.
Mm-hmm.
You can't beat that team playing clean.
But
and as bad as that's to say, sometimes you can't win playing clean.
It's not untrue. Do what you have to.
Yeah.
And by the time you get to I can't really say conference final this year because it's the Final Four. You can taste it then. In those rounds, and I'm not saying that the play is like not dirty. There's still dirty shit going on.
Oh, there's a shitload of dirty shit going on.
But you know that it's, hey, I can't do.
The whistles are faster. The games go by quicker.
Yeah.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Also, the talent is there too. So you don't all those, like you said, the bullshitty teams that have to bullshit their way through. They've been weeded out. You think, hopefully.
Yeah, the only time bullshit's gonna happen is when it should happen. It's not gonna be cause to cause it. It's gonna happen because somebody fucked up.
Someone fucked up.
Oh yeah. And then somebody on the ice has to own it. Like, that's how hockey is. If somebody fucks up, somebody else on the other team, they have to own it.
Yeah.
Like, or your team has to own it.
What do you think of the Montreal Canadiens? Going back to the Cup Final here. What do they have to do to win a game?
Nothing. They play the same game. Tampa's just better than them.
Hoping for
they can't play more dirty.
No,
because Tampa is a lot more dirty.
They'll kill them.
Like,
on the power play. Yeah.
Tampa's just a better team. But like we said, game 1 and 2, Montreal played fucking amazing.
Especially game 2.
Montreal was like, I'm holding my finger and I'm like holding it as like an inch apart.
Yep.
Montreal was inches from winning both those games if bounces went their way.
Yep. Sure. Game 1, I'm not. Yeah, it's kind of iffy, but game 2 for sure. It seems as though in the first 2 games, Montreal legit only scored 1 goal. A couple bounces.
Yeah.
They scored 1 goal in 2 games. Game 3, they had that, Suzuki slid that, like, fanned on the shot that went under Vasilevsky's pad. It's like, that fucking sucks. But it happens. That's why you score 6, so your goalie doesn't have to be perfect every night.
But at the same time, I still hold that argument. I'm like, maybe, like, Tampa still just knows when they have to score a goal.
And does it really matter that Carey Price is in net?
Tampa doesn't give a shit.
No.
So they're just so superior. But like, I don't think Montreal's played bad at all. I've enjoyed watching Montreal. Like, as much as I hate it, like, I'm kind of a little like fan of them during the playoffs because I like Caulfield. I like Suzuki. I think Shea Weber. Like, we love Shea. You love Shea Weber from the Nashville days.
Watched a lot of Shea Weber.
Yeah, like I love watching Shea Weber play. Like,
I don't mind watching Carey Price at all.
And I'm a massive. You know how much I like Corey Perry too. Why we talked about it?
How disappointed are you that you're not gonna hypothetically get his jersey?
I'm kind of upset.
Yeah, I know, but
no,
that's kinda...
but like there's so many like besides like I know we don't like Gallagher, but if Gallagher grew up a Leaf, like played as a Leaf, we would love him.
He's like he's their Cadry.
Exactly.
Basically.
I wish he was on any team that was
you're cheering for. Yeah. You wish he was a Flyer.
Yeah, but as big as a piece of shit he is on the ice, like, man, if I was building a team, I need that guy to win a cup.
I think he's on a mission to literally try to just get bloody every game. He's just like, I need another fucking cut on my face.
You know, guys just like get dirty for the sake of getting dirty in baseball, sliding and stuff like that. That's one of those guys. He just needs to get punched in the face.
Yeah, he's like, if I don't come back in the dressing room with another cut on my face, I'm fucked up. Like, yeah. I fucked up.
Yeah, but it's a weird, like, it's a positive to them that happens. It's not that they're like yeah.
Well, self-harm, but self-inflicted from somebody else.
I grew up playing hockey. My dad grew up playing hockey. He's like, I'm not engaged into the game unless, like, my dad would go out of his way to like try to run somebody over or get ran over just so like
you're in the game.
The adrenaline hits you.
You need that one hit.
Yeah, it's the adrenaline.
Yeah, you need to get rocked or rock somebody.
Rock somebody
to get in the game. Yeah, and some guys, I guess. The same way that they still wear their same jock straps and shin pads and shoulder pads, they still carry that same mentality from junior or bantam or whatever
it got
into
them
the
to
NHL.
Play in the show.
Yeah, and I think a lot of guys, it's the same game for them, really.
Well, it got them to the show, like I just said. Like, I'm pretty sure Gallagher was playing the same way when he was in junior and peewee and bantam and
probably.
God, imagine being the parents like, fuck that kid.
Yes, those AAA parents, they're the worst.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah. Actually, I can't even imagine. That's just the terrible shit. Fucking. If there's, I don't know. Let's not go down that road. Okay. Anything else for the Stanley Cup Final? Get next. By the time you're listening to this episode, the cup might have been awarded, and I honestly, like, there's nothing in my mind that says this is not going to be a sweep. I think this is going to be a sweep. I don't want it to be just because you want to see more hockey. I'd love for Montreal to put a little seed of doubt in the Tampa Bay Lightning's mind, but I just don't think it's going to happen. I don't think, like Mark said, Tampa Bay is just outclasses them in every category. The only category it's really close is in net, and Carey Price, let's be honest, he's letting a couple too many goals this series. And like I said, I haven't seen the Mario Kart superstar to Carey Price yet. Yeah.
No, I agree. He hasn't.
We've seen the speed boosts.
He hasn't
seen
Carey Price the game, so I hope he Carey Prices one tomorrow.
I would love to see. I have a baseball game tomorrow. First baseball game of the season.
Oh man, I'm so jealous. So
I'm gonna let me wrap up the Stanley Cup one. So I'm gonna miss the game, but I hope there's another game. I hope they do it. And the Tampa Bay's, if Montreal reverse sweeps Tampa Bay, one, Mark's getting a Corey Perry jersey, but two, we'll never hear the end of it.
That would be like the greatest championship win ever.
Reverse sweeping.
They were also I think they were
defending
they
champs.
were loaded, but they were also the lowest. I think they were the lowest seeded going into the playoffs as well too.
Yeah, they were, I think, 18th in the NHL.
Yeah,
they weren't even top 16.
Yeah, that would be absolutely insane. Absolutely, but I doubt it's gonna happen because. But yeah, fuck, man, we've played so many hockey games that.
Just win 20 minutes at a time.
Yeah, exactly, man. We've played so many hockey games that, like, to them, it's still game one.
Yeah.
Like, there's no game you don't win. Like, I think it's just game one to them all the time. And, like, game 7's different because it's an elimination.
Yeah.
But, like, to them, it's just game one every single game. It's just game.
Game.
And then when you have to win, because, like what you said, in game 6, and when you watch game 6 and 7, you're like, somebody's trying to win now.
The win condition is on the ice. Like,
yeah.
This it could be over now.
Yeah. That's why I always pick games like series to go 6 and 7 because like those games are always the best.
The one thing that does piss me off though, and I'm gonna call people out that are just because, and you've heard this before, everyone's heard this before, is I'm just gonna pick Leafs Habs just out of the blue. Those people that are like
worst series of the playoff, probably one of the worst series of the playoffs. Even though Montreal won, maybe, but it was a shit series.
But those people that said the Leafs are gonna win, the Leafs are gonna beat the Habs, and the Leafs are gonna beat the Habs, and the Leafs are gonna do it in 7 games. It's like you have such conviction that the Leafs are gonna win, but then you pick in 7 games, which basically leaves it to a bounce. What the fuck literally. Are you talking about? It's like, if you have that conviction, pick them in 5.
I picked this series in 7 because I'm not confident in the favorite team to win.
I think it's going to go long.
Yeah. If you're picking a series in 7, you're not confident in the favorite.
Exactly. Yes. Or you're not confident either way. You're like, this is going to be long, drawn out. And I'm picking the series in 7, knowing that one of these teams is going to have their back against the wall. One of these teams is going to have lost 3 games before they win their 3rd. So, and then looking historically back, 6 games is the most often occurring, I guess.
Yeah.
So, anyway, sorry. Okay, enough of this. So, baseball things. I'm starting baseball this week. You said you were jealous. You said you were jealous of playing baseball.
I'm so jealous. No, I'm not. I wouldn't say jealous. I'm excited for you, man, because it's normal shit. Sorry, jealous is the wrong word. I sound like a dick for saying that.
Yeah, it's fine.
No, but it's just so sick to just fucking hang out with the guys again and play baseball. Are you guys playing with like any weird like abbreviated rules for?
Okay, so no masks, so we don't have to wear masks because I guess everyone's social distance outside as it is.
Well, you're double shot too.
I'm double vaccinated. Yeah. But not only that, I wouldn't actually be playing. I don't think I'd be playing if everyone in my family wasn't also double vaccinated.
You don't want to. You don't want to bring it home. Yeah, no. I feel this exact same way.
Everyone in my family is double vaccinated, including my brother, who's out in New Brunswick. And everyone's in the clear. So everybody's like, they're 2 weeks, whatever.
Oh yeah.
or 2 weeks is coming up Tuesday, I think. Or was it this past Tuesday? It doesn't matter. The only
we
rule...
had it the same day.
I can't remember when it... 22nd.
Yeah.
June 22nd was. The only weird rule is bring your own chair because the dugouts are closed because they did want people staying away from each other.
So get dressed in your own chair. Or put your shoes on in your own chair.
Yeah, but I mean, you put your shoes on like off to the side anyway. Like, so if anybody... people that don't play baseball or don't play baseball often, a lot of teams... I'm one of the few that actually uses the dugouts. Like, I'll just put my stuff kind of near the entrance of the dugout, sort of. I'm like one of the first spots there, but most of the dugout isn't even used in the diamonds we play on because there's only one entrance.
Oh, everybody leaves them on the back fence.
Everyone leaves their stuff like up the baseline.
Yeah.
So
on
that's
the fence.
Yeah, either out on the fence, like where the pitcher can warm up the little bullpen
also,
area.
like, I really don't like hanging out of the dugout because, like,
it's a little
kind of tight and stuff like that.
cramped.
It's not like MLB dugouts where like you got all this room and sunflower seats. No, it's usually like a bench and
That's a bench.
3 feet of like wingspan.
You don't. There's some are better than others.
It's more fun hanging out around the bleachers.
A little, depending on the team. But some teams never use the dugout, don't even touch the dugout, and they
Yeah.
just have their shit spread out along the baseline anyway. So they're basically like, bring a chair and you're just gonna be spread out along the baseline, which is
That's fine.
that's almost
a bigger
what
dugout.
that's almost what teams do anyway.
It's a bigger dugout.
Yeah. So that's really the only difference. Okay, hang on. Before we do stuff, do you want to go over? There's 2 more things I got here. We've been going for an hour. 2 more things, 2 big things actually. So one, what do you want to do first? You want to do NHL awards? Do you want to wait till Ian's on to do NHL awards?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think his opinion would be cool on a couple of
All right, let's punt that. When Ian doesn't step on Lego, we'll do NHL awards. So the one thing we'll do though, because there's a few NHL signings, and trades and stuff like that, like Mark mentioned earlier. So NHL things, non-Stanley Cup related. We want to do the Stanley Cup stuff first because that stuff is important. But there's also 30 other teams in the league.
Almost 32. 31.
30 other teams other than the 2 Stanley Cup ones.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh
32.
yeah.
Yeah. Math.
So we're
doing
calling
math.
Seattle a team now?
They hired a coach. Hang on. I saw some dates. Let me just read these dates out. That we're in the month where we actually will get a 30-second team. I took a screenshot off Instagram because
Oh man, I can't believe who they hired.
Yeah, we talked about Hackstall last week.
I cannot believe it.
Yeah. So today is the 4th. When's the 21st, Mark? That's less than 3 weeks away. We're under 3 weeks away. July 21st is the NHL expansion draft. I say the 24th. The 21st is the NHL expansion draft. The first round, the NHL draft is on the 23rd and 24th, and then free agency is at the very end of the month on the 28th. But in 3 weeks, there will literally be a 30-second team in the
NHL team.
NHL team. Okay, signings. So you got Wayne Simmonds re-signs 2 years, $900,000 a year.
Yeah, I like it. I'm happy he got 2 years too because he's a good player for the value. That's a great value for what he does.
When we went through each player, we stopped on Simmonds and we said we didn't love. We say we'd have him back. We didn't say absolutely yes, but we said for the right price. And
it's beyond the right price.
This is the right price.
Yeah, he came over on his Spezza, but they gave him another year because he's a little younger.
And a little bit more money. Here's an extra $150,000.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whatever. Yes.
I hate saying like whatever to that much.
Yeah. Is that so arrogant? Here's another $150,000.
I wish $150,000 could be in my pocket.
Shit. Here's what can you do with $150,000? A nice kitchen reno. And a couple bathroom renos.
You get a mortgage on a fucking house.
I was gonna say you can't buy a whole, like, not in this neighborhood. You can't buy a house in this neighborhood.
No, you get a mortgage on a pretty nice house though with $150,000.
Not that Wayne needs another mortgage on a house, but I agree. I think Wayne Simmonds, great signing. However, the temperature in Leafs Nation is so sour's the temperature, that people were upset. Like, that's how angry, and I'll never challenge how people feel, because you feel angry, you feel disappointed, you feel sad, you feel whatever that the Leafs lost. I can't and I will never challenge anyone on how they feel about something. But it's become so tainted, so sour, that that even a signing like this, people were upset.
Jesus Christ.
It's like, what the fuck? Like, how? Like, what do we have to do to make you happy? Literally, some people,
what other fourth liner would you want?
The only thing that'll make some people happy, genuinely right now, is either winning a playoff series.
Lollipop?
Which won't happen until next year.
They got to go to their dentist and get a little lollipop.
Or they want to see, they literally want to see a head roll. They want to see Marner traded. It won't matter if they sign Dougie Hamilton for $1 million if they don't trade Mitch Marner
away.
Yeah. It's like they can't see the forest for the trees. They can't see what's in front of them. We said that the Leafs are probably going to have a hard time putting a team together next year that's better than this year. Realistically.
Oh, they're definitely
taking a step back.
Taking a step back next year.
Maybe a half step back. If people are coming back and re-signing for all these players are saying that they'll take less, but I've just found it really interesting. Just a temperature amongst Leaf fans. Some are over it. Some say they don't care. Some are like, whatever. But
a lot don't get it.
Yep. Now, sorry, there's a couple other signings. We'll get to that in a minute. But since we're on the Leafs, Freddie Andersen has said he will take less to re-sign, which is cool. What would you? Do you have any numbers you can pull out of your ass there, Mark?
No, it's like Simmonds. If the number's there for Freddie, like I still think
I know you like him.
This series is different if Freddie's in the net.
You think so?
Man,
the Montreal series?
I think he's such a good goalie, dude.
I don't know. I don't know if he changes. I think Montreal still wins just because the Leafs buckled.
Yeah, I know. I just think it's different what a goalie's played in the playoffs a bunch of times than somebody who hasn't.
Well, I can't agree with you there. But regardless, how about this?
I just love Freddie.
Okay, would you take?
Because you remember when Lou got him? I remember Lou Lamoriello traded for him.
Yeah, Anaheim.
And I was like, Leafs are. This is before they got Matthews. In my head, I was like, Leafs are gonna make the fucking playoffs next year. We got a fucking legit goalie,
and he's been legit.
And then we got Matthews in the draft, and Matthews helped a lot to get us in the playoffs that year. He lost to Washington, but that was one of the funnest seasons of hockey I watched. Remember, let's go back to that season and how fun it was watching that with the no expectations and all the kids coming up.
You're right. That was super fun.
Yeah. And now everybody's just finding a reason to argue about the Leafs.
Well, their reason isn't they haven't had success. So it's not unjustified.
I know it's not unjustified, but it's like, man, let's
have fun.
Have fun with what's good. Like when you listen to when San Jose was almost winning all those Stanley Cups, the only media that was criticizing them not winning was here. In San Jose, they were like, we're good. We don't care that we lose. They're like, we're good. The media,
competitive every
the
season.
Toronto, the media we have here in
Canadian
Toronto
media,
and Canada polarizes losing in hockey and expectations so much that it's it creates a standard that shouldn't exist.
And you're right. To an extent, they do zap the fun out of it.
Yeah,
they syringe the fun out of it.
I don't like talking about teams winning and teams losing. I like talking about how good the players are on the teams and how sick of a play somebody does. I don't like telling it. I hate telling a team. As much as I like talking shit about a team,
yep,
I hate telling somebody that their team is bad.
No, you want to find reasons why their team's good.
Yeah, exactly.
A little more positive.
That's why I hate Montreal, but I hate that I don't hate Montreal anymore because watching Cole Caulfield and Suzuki was
and Corey Perry. And yeah.
I was just fuck.
So I don't you pick out the good pieces.
Yeah,
and that's sort of how we put this podcast here. That's the sort of stuff that we talk about. That's different than the media narrative that you usually hear, right?
I love arguing about the rivalries and that shit, but just almost no point in doing that shit anymore.
So what would you say to this then? So if Freddie said, "Hey, I would take 3 years, $3 million each,"
give it to him.
Would you do that?
Yep.
3.
Yep.
But I think that's a very intriguing number
because there's a lot of goalies getting paid a lot more than that are worse than him.
The only concerning part is
Jordy Bennington is your
6'6"
is your first card that you pull to be well, if you're arguing against him getting $3 million, like Leaf fans, whoa, he doesn't need $3 million. He should be paid 1.5.
Well, yeah, of course. But again, we said Leaf fans won't be happy if Dougie Hamilton signs for $1 million.
Exactly.
Right? They unless they trade Mitch Marner.
3-3, like, I give him 3-3, but I think he's going to get more somewhere else. But I think it's just about him. I don't think he wants to leave Toronto. I think he's just, his family's happy here. He's happy here. And it's a lifestyle thing that he doesn't want to leave.
He has friends here. He's out hanging out with Justin Bieber and Austin Matthews.
No, it's a lifestyle thing. People don't want to leave, and he knows for himself. There's more money outside of signing that contract, living in Toronto.
Now, it's not talk is cheap, literally in this case.
Yeah.
Saying that I would take less to sign here. You're at the very least endearing yourself to the fan base and saying I'd like to stay here. And if it doesn't work out, at least you said, hey, I said I'd take less to be here, and if it doesn't work out, it looks like it's on the. It looks like it's on the Leafs now and Dubas, at the very least. Yeah. And if he goes signs for 5 times 2,
I hate hearing these things in the media because like
it does. Talk is cheap.
Yeah,
talk is free.
Yeah,
literally. Yeah,
I know.
If you go signs 5 million over 2 years, so $10 million contract in one of the teams that I mentioned was Pittsburgh. You're not going to blame the guy. Get the same amount of money, go play in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's a pretty good team, pretty good organization.
Made the playoffs past 10 years.
How many years in a row did we say they were a 100-point team? Like for the past 5 or 6, they've had over 100 points. Yeah. Go play with Sid. Fucking
Malkin, Letang.
Champions.
Yeah.
That still have some gas.
The pedigree's still there.
But I mean, in the same, they're almost in the same boat as the Leafs. And over the past 3 years, though, they haven't been able to get to the first round. Pittsburgh hasn't. So Freddie,
I've said that a few times too.
Yeah, but I'm just picking a team.
Twice to the Islanders, Pittsburgh as well.
And it could be Washington, or it could be like pick a team. Doesn't matter.
But that's what I'm saying. Twice to the Islanders. The 2 years the Islanders beat them, the Islanders got went on a pretty good run too.
Yes. I don't think Freddie signs 2 years, $2 million. Although that's a nicer number, but like you got to be realistic. So instead of speculating they'll
probably sign him to the end of the length of Matthews' contract if they're going to go that far.
I was going to say that Freddie might want to sign if he stays in Toronto,
or a year before.
However long they think the cap is going to stay flat, sign that length,
and then go somewhere else as like a backup.
Or you then can ask for more from Toronto or whatever. Yeah. So, like, if the cap is going to stay flat for the next 2 years, then it'll be a 2-year deal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I know. Okay. I know what you're saying.
Okay,
because you can keep your team streamlined
as much as possible.
Yeah,
and
no, I know what you're saying.
And Morgan Riley is another guy now that said that he would be willing to take less because he's now in the last year of his contract. So there's really 2 options for the Leafs: re-sign him and get a good deal because you're going to have to fit everybody.
Or you have to trade him.
Or you have to trade him. And we've sort of danced around talking about Morgan Riley. He's the guy I like on the team. I got a Morgan Riley jersey, so you know what, whatever.
The guy on the team. I love players you draft and develop.
Love it. And I love that Burke said, I would have taken this guy number 1, and he stood by it, and it looks pretty good right now. I mean, there's other guys in the draft, but I mean, you can do that with every draft.
Yeah. I remember Burke said at the draft too, he was like, I would have taken this guy first overall.
Yeah, like a broken leg or MCL tear or something in his jaw. But again, talk is cheap. Until he signs a cheaper deal, he hasn't.
You know what's funny? When the Leafs drafted Morgan Riley, I did not know who he was.
No, and he played like 18 years.
It's kind of funny because like we usually know the top 5 of like every thing. I was like, it was the first time I was like, who the fuck is this guy?
Which draft was that again?
Oh, something.
Do you remember who was taken first?
Yakupov.
Was it Yakupov?
I think it was Yakupov.
Yeah, that was a giant butt. It was like Yakupov and a bunch of other... Yeah. Was Galchenyuk in that draft?
He might have been.
We're speculating here.
Yeah, it was a wild draft.
We could pull out our phones, but it's more fun to speculate.
No, but I remember...
Go fact check and tweet at us.
Coming out, I think Riley might be one of the best players out of that draft.
Yes. Yeah. But again, talk is cheap until he actually signs he can't actually sign an extension yet, I don't think. He has to wait until free agency because then he'll be in the last year of his deal, technically. But again, Another guy that said that he'd be willing to take... Has Hyman said he'd be willing to take less to stay? Not yet.
No, Hyman didn't. I think Hyman's gone.
I know that breaks your heart. Crushes me too. It sucks.
No, I think Hyman knows he's going to get money elsewhere. Like, he's not signing to stay in Toronto.
Yeah. However, to wrap up the Leafs thing, I think that when you start to hear all these guys like Tavares took less to stay in Toronto, until Morgan Rielly and Freddie Andersen actually do it, they haven't, but they might. If they do that, then you look at Simmonds. I think he took less to stay in Toronto.
So does Spezza.
Another guy on the list. As you're once you're compiling all these players,
said, if some team picks me up on waivers, I'm retiring.
And with the expansion draft, same.
Yeah,
expansion draft, same. And I don't think Dubas does not sign Simmonds like this. If he knew, he probably called Ron Francis up and said, "Hey, no, sorry, Dubas wouldn't do that." Brendan calls up. Shanny says, "Hey, listen, Ron, you're not touching Simmonds, right? Okay, we're just going to resign him just to get out of the way. Okay, cool." They're not. You don't protect Simmonds.
They're not protecting him. That's why the 2-year contract to me was like, whoa.
Yeah. So, where was I going with this?
Unless the Jays are gonna flip him, maybe the Jays
Seasons.
Maybe the Jays flip him Hyman and they sign him.
The Jays?
I mean the Leafs.
Oh, the Leafs. I was gonna say
Leafs. Maybe the Leafs, because the Leafs might not. Leafs know they're probably not gonna be able to sign Hyman. Maybe the Leafs give him to Thing for a pick to not take a couple guys.
I don't think the Leafs really need to do that.
I've just thrown it out.
You're throwing it out there, sure. Throw it past against the wall.
And then the Leafs are like, you take Hutchison.
I'm on the 4 and 4.
You take Hutchison. Or whatever.
No, I don't. Well, they could take Hutchison technically.
Yeah. You take Hutchison.
But Hutchison also signed to be on the Marlies.
But you don't need him.
Yeah, you're right.
It's still a business.
Yeah. But I listed 5 guys, a handful of guys. 3 of them already took less to stay here. As if you start compiling more and more, like we were talking about Foligno a couple weeks ago. If he takes less to stay here, for just as an example, because he's a Hyman-esque player, and Galchenyuk took less to come here. Kind of, we traded for him, but I wouldn't have a problem with re-signing him.
I like Galchenyuk,
and I'm just talking hypotheticals here now, but. If you start to accumulate a number of players, very respectable players that are taking less and taking less and taking less to stay here, you start to come to a point where it's like...
So you're saving money when you get things on sale?
Love things on sale. Love a sale.
Exactly.
But you start to really think it's like, all these guys are taking a discount to stay here. How long can I keep the guy that didn't take a discount to stay here?
You're almost just wanna...
It's like, how can I justify giving
him
all these guys discount, or all these guys taking discounts, and without naming names, the people that didn't take a discount start to be the problem.
Build into the...
They're the problem.
No, you're 100% correct.
And I'm not... That would be... It's supply and demand. That happens anywhere. It's not just the Leafs. So it would happen anywhere.
It works that way with every organization.
Every business.
Yeah.
As soon as you get discount, you start it's like who is the one... Now, granted, that's the talent. That's the big talent, the big attraction. However...
If it's not getting it done, why do you have it?
Look, we'll just point at the teams that are left in the Stanley Cup Final and how many of them make double digits. Kucherov makes like almost close to it. And Vasilevsky close to it.
We'll give Tampa has the whole tax thing, but
yeah,
but it doesn't matter. They got it done.
Yep, they got it done, and they did get it done last year.
And none of us. Montreal is almost a bunch of misfits.
Kinda, except Price. They have a couple thoroughbreds, but also you're not wrong. They have a bunch of pieces that it gelled,
and they had a couple kids they traded for that ended up being really good. They got they drafted a kid that ended up being a superstar before they ever thought he probably was.
That's him, Cole Caulfield.
Yeah. Oh fuck, man, he's been such a treat to watch.
Yeah,
and he's been dynamic against Tampa too. Like he's the only guy in Montreal who's like breaking them apart. Fuck, I hate liking a guy in Montreal.
It's okay. It's okay.
I hate being a fan of, like, I'm a fan of the other player, but, like, I hate, like, passionately liking this Caulfield kid.
Fuck you for being a Montreal Canadian.
Yeah. Did you hear the good news about
No, tell me.
Jonathan Taves?
Oh, yes. Sorry. What's the Jonathan Taves news? Moving on from the Leafs.
Apparently he's ready to he might be ready to come back next year.
I heard he got hit really hard with COVID.
It was he talked about it was he had a mental medical disorder where he couldn't overthink getting better
From COVID?
I don't know if he got COVID, but
I heard it was really COVID and it was something else on top of that as well. And so it was like kind of a compounded thing.
Yeah. His thing was like he wasn't able to think he was healthy. He was constantly thinking he was sick.
Okay. Like that's a mental block. That's a huge mental block then. Damn. I have heard the Jonathan Taves news. I haven't really looked into it. I was at the cottage when it was sort of breaking, so I was sort of...
No, I haven't got much. I just read a little bit. My buddy sent me a thing, and he's a big Taves fan, so it was just like, it was good to hear happy news about him, because we haven't heard anything about him all.
No.
Till I'm shutting it down for the season.
Yeah. Shitty news coming out of Chicago, generally speaking, though, with all the shit.
Oh, fuck.
I don't want to really get into that, because...
That's too political, man.
That's a little... It's political and it's not, but it's also... You can find much better and more professional people to talk about that stuff.
What pisses me off is like Sportsnet, ESPN, TSN swept this under the rug. That's what pisses me off. For a while.
Until
a long time.
The outrage built.
And even when it came out a couple weeks ago, they're not talking about it. You know where it's being talked about more? On podcasts, where players are coming on and saying that like the Blackhawks actually did this.
Yep.
And it wasn't the player, it was the organization.
The players, from what we know, the players went to the coaching staff. The coaching staff pushed it up the ranks, and it was the front office. I'm not going to point without pointing.
I'm not saying names until anything's in.
But the front office was the one who suppressed it, and did not go to the proper authorities, i.e., the police. So,
it's disgusting, and I hate that there's all these stories coming out, even in the last year in the OHL and
ultimately
that shit. Man.
The Blackhawks essentially they won the Stanley Cup, but they did it at the expense of this. And not to say that you couldn't have done both, but you could have won the Stanley Cup and addressed this properly if you were a respectable organization.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that.
No, that's how I feel. Like in my head, I was like, I would never want to work for this organization.
Isn't it weird now that we have two organizations? We talked about one earlier in the year, the Arizona Coyotes, and now the Chicago Blackhawks. How many other shitty sports organizations are there?
There's probably a lot.
This is only the stuff that we know.
This is
and has been
stuff
reported
in North America that we're like interested in.
And again, North America is one of the more more legit places.
Well, you don't know what goes on in Europe with all the soccer and shit like that.
You have no idea.
We know FIFA's corrupt. Everybody knows FIFA's corrupt.
Don't even start thinking about South America.
Exactly.
Like everything in North America, everything's above board, pretty much. Other parts of the world, no, it's.
I know.
It's above board
in terms of but like in terms of what we see on TV.
Just there's two NHL teams, two NHL organizations. I wonder. Hey, you know what they tell you? You know what they tell you in kindergarten? If you have a question, put your hand up because someone else has the same question.
Different sides of the spectrum. They were on two different sides of the spectrum.
How do you mean?
Chicago is selling. Phoenix is the disaster because they don't have money.
Sorry,
Chicago was doing their Stanley Cups when this was happening. Phoenix is still a joke.
Okay,
Arizona is still a joke.
Where I thought you were going with that is Chicago is an original six, big city, big franchise, historic, and Arizona is like kind of.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. It's like you got two organizations. One has like the
pedigree,
a legacy behind it.
Sure, Chicago has a long legacy.
Arizona, Phoenix is
there.
They're the Winnipeg Jets.
They're the former Winnipeg Jets.
Yeah. Mike Smith is the only thing to like get them anywhere in Shane Doan.
You're not wrong. Bless you.
Conference final. Lost to the Kings.
Speaking of the Chicago Blackhawks, going back to the hockey side, what do you think of the Duncan Keith nonsense? Have you heard anything about the Duncan Keith nonsense? Are you interested in Duncan Keith?
Not really.
If you were the Edmonton Oilers, would you be interested in Duncan Keith?
No.
Why?
because you have too much money in Darnell Nurse and Draisaitl. You just sign Hopkins. I can't believe Hopkins signed that deal.
Okay, hold on. Duncan Keith. I don't understand it either, man. What is going on? Why do the Edmonton Oilers have... It's like,
Did Eklund drop an E4 or something?
No. Like, Jesus Christ. I do appreciate the scale, and I do actually know what those mean, but a lot of people just think that E4 means it's like 80% likely, as opposed to like it came from two sources that are inside the whatever.
Yeah.
However, no, like, I was listening to 31 Thoughts today, and they were talking about Duncan Keith now, going to whatever. I don't understand. Why? I don't get it. Do you get it?
No.
Okay.
How does that work?
Ryan Nugent-Hopkins. What do you think? 8 years, 5.125 average annual value puts him to 2029. He's currently 28 years old.
I think it's one of the best contracts in the NHL.
Really? Because I think you were of the opinion that he was gone.
I didn't think he was gonna sign for that cheap.
Isn't that a good deal?
Because he legit could go to almost any team that doesn't have a first line center and be their first line center.
Ooh, I don't agree there. I think he could be a first line center on like maybe 10 teams.
No. That's what I'm saying. Like, he could go somewhere to a team that doesn't have a first line center and be their first line center.
I think legit he's a number 2 center.
And that team would have signed him to a lot more money than what Edmonton needs him to do.
And let's be honest, it's Edmonton. But I think the first 3 years, I think the first half of this contract is really good. I think the back half might be a little, but you have to give him term to get this quality.
But after that, you better hope Edmonton probably hopes they're winning with McDavid and Draisaitl, and you got a cup team on those with a veteran Ryan Nugent-Hopkins.
Or Draisaitl and McDavid are getting the fuck out of there before this thing happens.
No, I think my jaw almost dropped when I saw that deal.
So you think it's one of the best in the league?
It's value and everything. Yeah, 8 years at 5 for like
just about 5. Yeah,
for a player that could play first line center on maybe 10 teams in the NHL.
Let's call it like
He's better than Ryan Johansson.
Sure. I would give you that. Sure.
I think he's better than Matthew Shane, and both those guys are on Nashville.
Okay, so he would play first line on Nashville. He'd probably play first line center in Columbus. He'd probably
Phoenix.
Arizona, like Connor Garland's center, right? No, somebody else's.
Garland plays wing.
Doesn't matter. Arizona, cool. San Jose?
Maybe. Like,
questionably.
Yeah.
Not Anaheim, because Anaheim, maybe they Anaheim got right now.
Maybe Anaheim, because Getzlaf's a UFA right now.
Have we named 5 teams already?
Yeah.
Off the top of our heads?
Kings got Kopitar.
Yeah, so we wouldn't be there. That's fair. Not in Vancouver, no. I know we're going west here, but would he be first line center?
My thing is, though, how close is Nugent-Hopkins? I think Nugent-Hopkins is closer to being like an elite player than he is getting paid $5 million.
What do you think? Okay, so
I think this is one of the best deals. Like,
what
Draisaitl and the Nuge that they have him signed right for. If Edmonton fucks this up,
they will. They'll sign for. They'll trade for Duncan Keith. They're gonna fuck this up.
Oh my God.
Do not for a second think they won't fuck this up, Mark.
I can't.
They will fuck this up.
I remember when Draisaitl signed for 9, and I thought it was too much, and now it looks like one of the best deals in the league as well.
You have 2 bargains.
Yeah. You legit 2 bargains. He's getting paid less than fucking Nylander.
More term, more years.
But still, you only care about what's happening in the year.
True.
Like 5 to 6'9" that Nylander, 6'8" that Nylander gets.
Which is a pretty good deal too. It's decent.
It's
kind of bang
still a
on.
good deal, but would you rather Hopkins at 5'1" playing center than...
Yeah, center wing. He has that flexibility.
Yeah.
Okay. How about...
That's why, like, Hyman, I was like, man.
Let me get there. What do you think about the Wild signing Eriksson Ek? Because his is 8 years as well. He's younger. He's only 24. 5 1/4. 5.25 for 8 years. Takes it to 2029 as well. I was
fanboying this guy, too. That's what I mean. I can't believe Hopkins got, like, that little. Because 5.2 for a guy that young, that's... Because
Eriksson Ek?
When he gets to Hopkins' age, where he is now after that contract,
he'll be halfway through the deal.
He'll be halfway through, exactly, and he's half the age. Well, not in terms of NHL games.
Which deal's better? I'd say Eriksson Ek just because he's
just because of the
4
age,
years younger.
Just because he's 4 years younger. But I think both deals are amazing.
And he is their number one center, isn't he?
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. Is Eriksson Ek... So if Ryan Nugent-Hopkins was signed by the Wild, would he take over the number one spot? I don't have an answer for that.
No.
You don't think so? You think Eriksson Ek is better?
I told you I was fanboying about Eriksson Ek
that's
almost
true.
all
That's
freaking
true.
season.
You're slightly biased there,
Yeah.
but I'll take your word for it.
He's like watching Sebastian Aho.
Yeah, Aho's not like that offensive juggernaut that people sort of think he is.
These guys are defensive juggernauts, man, and they score goals when you need them. They put the points up when you need them. You know those.
Is Eriksson Ek more like it? So, is he like Barkov like?
Barkov, Bergeron.
Okay, I got you.
He'll have points, and you would not know he did anything in the game.
All right, I'm gonna give you some names. Okay, I did some research. Yo, I didn't even do research. I did research because it was some class. Hang on.
No,
There's
I'm gonna
some
go back
research.
again. Like,
Okay,
hey,
sure.
If you're like Minnesota or watching hockey, like keep an eye on Eriksson Ek, man.
Eriksson Ek.
He's gonna be a fun name in the NHL for the next few years.
And he's got two names, Eriksson and Ek. Joel Eriksson Ek. All right, same tier as these guys. Here's some RFAs and UFAs that are the same tier as Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, 28 years old. I looked at their point averages, and these guys are about-ish over the past year. I'm not going to read out the goal averages. Ian's not here to read out the stats for us. So, okay, whatever. So, same tier. So, we got Reinhart. He's 25. He's about the same.
30 goals this year, almost 30 this year.
A little higher point averages than these guys.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
And he played on a shitty
Buffalo team. Top line, though. And
he played without Eichel too this year.
Now, we also said Reinhart might go to Anaheim. You and I picked Anaheim. But do you think he gets more than these guys? Less than these guys? I'm not going to go through the list and play this whole game, but same tier. Reinhart, same tier, you think?
I think also
comparable?
These guys are, yeah, but also on their team, like, fuck, Buffalo's in such a bad spot too because they're going to have to pay Dahlin and all, like,
whatever. Like, you can pay 3 or 4 guys.
I know. But
just don't pay 3 forwards.
I don't know where Reinhart really sits. Because Buffalo's so bad.
Based on his point per game and his age and sort of the talent, I sort of have him around the same as Nugent-Hopkins and Eriksson Ek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
comparable. Hold on.
I think Ek is still better than them. Like his defensive game is so good.
Let me read out the other names here that are close. Okay. Connor Garland, also 25.
Garland's a winger though.
He's still in that conversation.
I know.
Yeah. Then you got Hyman, 29. So, and he's a winger, but and
we know we know how good Hyman is defensively.
This is pre Ian stepping on Lego. I was having a beer with Ian last night, and he thinks that these two deals, specifically the Ryan Nugent-Hopkins deal, puts Hyman's value higher because he thinks on a point per game basis, Hyman has more points per game than Ryan Nugent-Hopkins did. So if you're looking at, we went through those articles from the Sportsnet and the Athletic.
Though. He doesn't play center.
You're right. Yes. However, agents don't give a fuck. They're going to argue the higher value, right?
Yeah, I know. And teams are just like, yeah, I could get a guy to play my third or second line on the
real exactly. And I mean, Hyman. The thing with Hyman too, and I don't know if I've said this before, but he played with Marner and Matthews. Matthews is a number one center without Marner and Hyman. Marner is a number one line player without Matthews or Hyman. Hyman is not a first line player without Marner or Matthews. He's like he's a sick third liner. He's a really good second liner.
He's a really good second liner. Yeah. He can't drive his line against elite competition.
Still love him though.
Like you couldn't play him against Matthews and Marner every time and expect you to win.
No. Kevin Fiala, another Minnesota Wild player, winger, 24 years old.
He's been crazy injured the last year and a bit though.
He's also put up some pretty good numbers.
Yeah, with Nashville. No, I think he broke his
he broke his leg with Nashville. He had a really good year with Minnesota this year. And then
No, but he had a lull year like in between after breaking his leg. Like he was a little off after breaking his leg, and then he went. Nashville sent him to Minnesota, and he had a good year with Minnesota.
killed it, playing with Eriksson Ek. I think he played with Eriksson Ek, right? So there's a guy to keep. And then in that same conversation, 25 years old, just sent to the Detroit Red Wings. Vrana.
Jacob Vrana.
Yeah,
Their styles are so different though. Vrana's like a pure goal scorer. His shot is worth $5 million.
Yeah. Right? But to me, all those guys kind of fall into that, like, they're not elite, but they're kind of in that...
They do something that make you win.
That right next tier with guys like Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Eriksson Ek.
You need them to win.
Look out for these guys to maybe get... I'm not going to say similar contracts because the length and term, but maybe some of these guys are going to start to get like 7-8 year deals too, maybe around the same amount, because people are seeing the writing on the wall. Hyman, I don't think so. Hyman is the oldest in this group, and he has injury history with his knees, which does suck.
His knees are broken,
and he plays 100. He gives 100% of the time, which is just not.
Oh, if you watch
good for the body.
The dude only tries when the puck's on his stick,
which is shitty. But
the puck's in the back of the net when the guy's starting to play.
That's shitty for the other team.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, Taylor Hall does fit in with this group based on his points per game percentage this year. He's 29, except just because of his name and his pedigree, you sort of put him in a higher category with somebody like Landeskog.
Yeah, but Hopkins was the first overall draft pick too.
Yeah, but Hall won like a heart.
I know Hall won MVP, but I'm just arguing for the sake of arguing.
Sure, of course, because beer.
No, and also Hopkins and Hall's probably point per game place are very similar, and one's a center and one's a winger.
Yeah. I think Hall's like point per game, same tier as these guys, but on a pedigree level, you kind of got Gabriel Landeskog, and almost the exact point per game percentage is Kirill Kaprizov, except Kaprizov is 24 and Landeskog's 28. Not that Landeskog is leaving Colorado. Colorado had to be stupid to let him go.
He's the captain.
At the same time, there's never the there's always a possibility that something happens, but like you heard the stuff with Cale Makar, like with the offer sheets and shit like that, eh? But Colorado's like, we're matching everything.
It's not gonna happen. It's all pish posh.
Pish posh. And then Kaprizov, do you think he goes back to Russia?
No.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think there's too much money to be made over here. At the same time, he's in Russia right now to get an extra $1 million a year off of the Minnesota Wild because they're just going to squeeze him a little bit because he wants money.
I don't know. I hope he stays here because he's a fucking treat to watch.
Absolutely.
He almost beat Vegas.
Well, was that a line?
That was 7. That series went 7, but like Kaprizov was friggin' unreal that series.
Was that a line? Fiala, Eriksson Ek, and Kaprizov?
Minnesota mixed and matched their lines like usually.
A little, yeah. They're great. 5-on-5, so they do that, right? Yeah, of course. Man, Minnesota, get these guys signed, man.
We want to keep cheering
these guys
for you.
signed. Yeah. But does that make sense though? Like that tier group, I was just looking because I'm like, it's great that we can critique, and there's all sorts of places on the internet that you can find people critiquing these contracts. But I just wanted to look.
No, they're all comparable to what they do for a team and over a season. It's like James Van Riemsdyk got a little overpaid from Philadelphia.
Yes,
but he's still scoring 30 fucking goals.
Yep,
he's still on pace. He was still on pace to score 30 goals last year. He was the Flyers' leading goal scorer. So it's like, you can't really argue with the guy leading your team in points that he's getting paid the most.
Yeah, he's still exponentially bad the further he gets from the other team's net, but close to the net, he is money in the bank. $7 million in the bank.
Yeah.
In fact.
But that's why I was like, that's an overpayment. But I'm like, he led the Flyers in points.
He led the team in points. Points or goals or both?
Points.
Oh,
I think he led them in points.
Interesting.
He was like top 15 most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
He had a good and then the Flyers got shit towards the end, and then nobody was scoring.
Where do you think Hyman goes? I don't think we've talked about this. I gave like a little spiel on where I think Freddie might end up. keeping in mind that the Leafs are
Honestly,
always an option for both of those guys.
If Carolina is going to lose Dougie Hamilton, I think Carolina. I think Vegas. I just think the teams that are winning, they need Zach Hyman. The good team, he's going to go to a really good team. He's not going to go somewhere where he's not going to win.
I'm going to circle this. I asked the question. I should have an answer myself because I asked.
Nashville, he fits Nashville's system.
Well, okay, you know what? Interesting you mentioned that because they just traded Arvidsson and I made a comparison. Those are very similar players.
That was a really good trade for Nashville.
So it was Arvidsson to LA for a second this year and a third
they couldn't
next
keep
year.
Arvidsson or in the expansion draft. He was like a bubble player maybe.
Yeah.
And they got 2 picks.
Do you have a handle on have you looked at the Nashville situation right now?
No, I just...
Okay, let's put that on the back burner though. The Hyman thing. I'm gonna think about that this week just to like kind of put like a little list together like I did Freddie Andersen just for fun because it's our podcast. We do whatever the fuck we want. Let's pull up the cap friendly on the Predators because I think this is actually really interesting. Let me just scroll through the ads right now. Mark, sing something.
So no, what I like what Nashville did, they instead of trading with Seattle, they made a deal with another team in the NHL. They're like, hey, instead of trading our picks to
and getting
Seattle
less.
and getting less, I'll give you guys to have somebody else to protect or get your 7 and give us like it was a scratch my back, scratch yours.
And let's be honest, I think LA wants some veteran guys like this to mix in with their young players.
Who does LA have to protect?
I
Quick,
don't know.
Kopitar,
Doughty,
and Brown.
maybe like Iafallo and stuff like that.
Who's like
Guy. Yeah, they don't have a lot.
They
That's
did-
true. You're right. I couldn't name any. I haven't really looked.
they traded for a guy so they could add to their protection list because there's not a lot of guys that LA needs to protect. And there's no point in protecting a forward doesn't need to be protected.
Mark's doing the jazz hands like Guy. It's no point protecting Guy for the sake of protecting Guy.
Yeah.
Get value in the players you're protecting. Make sure that you're protecting people with value.
Yeah.
Don't protect a guy just for the sake of it. Don't look back at the Toronto Maple Leafs protection list from the Vegas draft because it'll piss you off.
And if you can get a top 6 forward for a second and a third,
that's usually pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
Considering
it's usually a first for a top 6.
Case in point, Nick Foligno.
Yeah,
but Taylor Hall.
I wouldn't even call Nick Foligno a top 6 though. But Arvidsson, in my opinion, Arvidsson's worth a bit more than a second and a third.
But in the environment,
in the circumstance, LA got a goal. Like
who did?
LA.
Nailed it. Okay, can I go through the Preds thing here because this is interesting. This is cap friendly. So they got the 2 centers that you mentioned earlier. They got Duchesne and Johansson. They got them signed forever, like until 24, 25, 25, 26. After that, the only other forward that's also signed that long is Colton Sissons. Okay.
Yeah.
Every other forward, 1 year left. Okay. So that includes Philip Forsberg. Fuck, I clicked on him. Hang on. Philip Forsberg, 1 year left.
So they have to protect all those guys.
Luke Kunin, Rocco Grimaldi. Some of these are RFA, by the way, but regardless.
No, they have to protect Forsberg.
Kalle Jarnkrog.
He's good.
Nick Cousin.
He's pretty good.
Jakob Trenin. Okay. All of those guys, they only have 3 forwards signed beyond next season. Only 3. Defense. 2 long-term. You have to take Yossi because he's got a no movement. But you're going to take it. You're going to protect him anyway.
He's one of the best defensemen in the league.
Yeah. And Ryan Ellis. He also signed forever and always. Other than that, Matthias Ekholm, 1 year left.
Yeah, but you still have to protect him.
Matt Benning, 1 year left. And David Ferentz, I guess, is in it. And then you have a couple guys who are RFAs. Dante Fabro is an RFA.
Yeah, and then
Saros is an RFA.
And then they got to
Both
keep
goalies are
Saros.
unsigned. Yeah, Saros, exactly. Rene's a UFA. So You're not wrong. All those players you mentioned. So, like, yeah, you gotta protect, unless of course there's another move. Unless of course there's another trade.
But they have players they have to keep.
You gotta keep Yossi and Ellis and Ekholm. Those are your 3, and then
Saros
is your goalie. So now it's 7 forwards. It's like, if it were me, I would not protect Duchesne or Johansson. Let Seattle take one of them.
Let somebody take the cap.
If both of those guys, legit, both of those guys are fringe number 1 centers. If Seattle needs a player down the middle, they could also
take him.
Also, Duchesne has played wing. That top line with Forsberg, Duchesne, and Johansson was actually pretty good. That drove Carolina nuts. That line did drive Carolina nuts. Oh, wait, you mean
when Nashville put their 3 best forwards together on a line?
Mark, isn't it just brilliant?
Besides Tolvanen's their best player. Tolvanen's sick.
Tolvanen was on that line. They mixed him in. But you're right. Yeah,
he's a kid though. He's still learning his NHL
I don't
roots.
think they need to protect him.
No, he's still on entry.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, he's RFA, but I think he's exempt.
Yeah.
So who do they keep? Who do they protect? They protect Forsberg, Sijins, Rocco Grimaldi, Yarn Kronk, Cousins. I don't know. Nashville's in a situation where they're almost heading towards a rebuild anyways with the contracts that they have. It's possible that when the Predators made the playoffs this year, David Poile was like, fuck it. We're in. We're going for it. If we make it, we make it. There's no point punting. Because remember how we were saying Nashville could trade guys?
Yeah.
Nashville could trade.
We were talking
Forsberg
about them
and
trading
Ekholm.
friggin' Ekholm.
Yeah. Could still do it. Absolutely could still do it. He's 31 years old. If you're heading towards, he's got 1 year left. He's going to be a UFA in 2022. But if you're heading towards a rebuild anyway, it's built in. Because there's so few guys here that are signed to Nashville. Beyond next year, Nashville has 3 forwards and 2 defensemen. There might be a fire sale next year. Realistically.
In Nashville.
Yeah.
Heard it here first.
Maybe. I just thought it was really interesting looking down. Oh, then Mark Bearwicky's on the injured reserve. Sorry. Mark Bearwicky.
But what's he going to do? Punch a guy in the face?
Maybe. Yeah. He's been known to do that, Mark. He's been known to do that. One of the more interesting teams. I'm a fan, obviously. They definitely need to rebuild. They got some pretty good prospects in the pipeline that they kind of got to make room for. However, I just think that it's, I don't know, interesting.
It's going to be tough for them, man.
Yeah. But
they're in a weird spot.
But it's almost like they didn't need to trade Arvidsson, but it's almost like that
what they got was like almost
they found
like
a partner that made sense right now.
Yeah. It just made sense. I was like, damn, that's a good trade for Nashville.
Yeah. And if Nashville's scouting department is any good, they're going to be able to abuse the shit out of this draft, I think.
They're just going to draft another fucking Shea Weber.
In the second round, yeah, exactly. Here comes another Shea Weber. They haven't drafted one of those in a while. They could use another one right now, to be honest with you. But there you go.
Well, they had one.
Dude, they've drafted so many. Like, Seth Jones. We don't need to go down that rabbit hole this episode.
No. But yeah, now even goalies, too.
What's that kid's name? We were standing here watching the draft last year.
Oh, the Russian kid.
that couldn't hold onto his stick in the
Stanley Cup. But also they drafted...
sorry, not the Stanley Cup, juniors.
They've had goalies before before
Rene. Yeah.
Mason.
They had oh my god, that other I can picture his friggin' name. The goalies. Yeah. Thomas Vokoun.
Oh, Vokoun was sick.
I can't remember. Oh my god. What's his name? I can't remember his name. Someone's yelling at it into their podcast player, and we appreciate that. Mark, is there anything?
Defense and goalies like on Nashville just developed.
That's their brand. Their brand is defense and goalies, and they've never had one of those skilled
They
forwards.
didn't even draft Forsberg. They traded for him. They traded Martinier for
Sure did.
The most talented forward they've ever drafted right now is Tolvanen.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't David Legwand. Did you guys hear Mark roll his eyes? That's amazing.
He was good.
He was a
say
guy.
He was skilled.
He was not.
He was really good.
He was a center.
He also got injured celebrating. Oh no, that was Jason Arnott, but he wasn't drafted by Nashville.
No. Yeah, Jason. Oh my God. We're going down memory lane here. Okay, that's my homework. Where's Hyman going to go? I'm going to look a little bit into... I'll try to figure out who Nashville might protect because that's coming up real quick. But, like, they're in a really, really interesting spot. And in a good way. There you go. Look, we tried to not talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs too much, Mark, but we did anyway. Fuck.
I don't care.
There you go. Okay, should we wrap this up?
Yeah, I'm hungry.
Oh.
Tired.
Hungry, tired, and you're still... What is that thing called around your neck?
Oh, like the... I don't know.
Little hula thing? Okay, so for our last minute, just what were you doing with your little hula thing?
Oh, it was one of my buddies, Greg. It's his birthday tomorrow.
Not
so
me,
we were...
some other guy. Another Greg.
Yeah, another Greg. We were over hanging out at his place. It's been almost a year since I've been able to see him and kind of chill with the guys. It was Hawaiian themed. It's a good little get together. Had a couple beers.
It's good. Right on.
Just see people you haven't seen in a long time.
Be a lot of that going on.
Oh yeah. Oh fuck. A lot of people are going to be getting really drunk.
Hopefully you're staying safe. Hopefully everyone's getting their second doses. Remember to tweet about your second dose. I'm kidding when I say that, but at the same time, like, activate that 5G technology.
Oh yeah.
All right, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen. Mark, let's wrap it up here.
With what, saran wrap? Oh my god,
wrap.
Okay, sorry. To end this story, so I was bringing hot dogs back and I had them covered with saran wrap and I struggled so much putting the saran wrap on top of the hot dogs. So I had the windows open in my truck and guess what came off the fucking hot dog? The saran wrap just starts flying everywhere in the fucking, the two pieces. It's just like flying everywhere in the truck and just goes right out the window. And Amy's like, are the hot dogs not covered anymore? I'm like, yeah, the saran wrap one again. It was so friggin' funny. I'm like, how does this thing always beat me? It is like fighting Lance in the fucking
Elite
Pokemon,
Four.
In the Elite Four.
Oh my god. All right, everybody.
Fucking Dragonite.
Mark's the Dragonite that beats Mark is saran wrap. We're going to leave it on that one?
Literally, like, fuck. Everybody's been beaten by saran wrap.
Guys, we're going to catch you on the next podcast.
Fuck.
Saran wrap free. Okay, bye. Cheers.
Thanks for listening. Follow us on Twitter @DraftInHand.